Right, welcome to the new YouTube series. It's called Bottom to Top, where we take a team in the bottom leagues and we rise with that team, or by moving to better and bigger teams to the top leagues in Europe. Now, we're trying to win Champions Leagues, we're trying to win league titles eventually, but firstly, we're starting right at the bottom. And the team we're starting with is Altrincham. Just so people know the kind of leagues which we could potentially explore on this save, we've stuck in the English leagues. We've put the French, the German leagues. We've put in the Scottish leagues as well. Maybe Rangers and Celtic may come calling at one point in the future on the save. We've put the Spanish second division on above. And we've also stuck in a bit of a curveball. We've stuck Holland in there. I always feel like going to a PSV or an Ajax would be really cool before getting, no disrespect to those fans, but getting a really top job in European football. So we'll dive right into Altrincham first, though. We're going to make this as realistic as possible for managerial styles. So coaching badges, I don't have any in real life, so I don't have any in the game. We're going to have to ask the board to keep on improving our coaching badges as we go through. And in terms of past playing experience, we're going to go with Sunday League footballer. I used to play for like a pub in sixth form a long time ago, so technically right. And yeah, we'll dive into it now. We'll actually dive into it now. So here we are, Altrincham hire Miller. Altrincham have today confirmed the appointment of David Miller as the club's new manager. Eyebrows have been raised, like I said on the beta save, it does look like my eyebrows are very raised. Have been raised in the world of football at the appointment of the 28-year-old who has recently spent time away from club football. And he is sure to face plenty of questions when he faces the media for the first time at Moss Lane. Great name for a stadium. Miller has put pen to paper on a one-year deal worth £775 per week, and he replaces previous manager Phil Parkinson. Great strips already, that's one thing to note. And you're probably wondering why I'm going for Altrincham, and that's because we'll move across now to show where it is and where it is in relation to where I currently live. It's just one of the local teams. Not that I'm going to always go for local teams, but it's the one closest to my current flat. This is Altrincham. I mean, it's a lovely town by all means. That's the indoor market there. The high street, if you can see that on the screen. But what we're interested in here is where's it at in England? Where's it currently? Currently, not like it's moving, but where's it located? So it's located here. So if we look at Manchester, it's kind of South Manchester. It's quite a posh area actually. There, and I live around about here. Where do I live? I live around about here. So as you can see, it's super close. I live just outside of Sale, around about here, close to the Little Bee pub. And it's the closest one to it. So we're going to start with Altrincham, and then we'll just see kind of where we go from there. So as you can see here, the reputation, we're talking 1.5 stars, 1.5 stars. The badge looks like it belongs on an old pub or maybe a crest of arms for a school. So it's not very digitally friendly. So we might have some trouble putting that on things. Director of football, we have a director of football. He's called Rob Estiva. We've got an assistant manager who is Neil Sauvel. Year founded 1891. So this club was actually founded before Liverpool. They were in 1892. And our fierce rivals are Northwich. Not sure if they're in the same division as us. I'm going to go with that they aren't. Facilities, so we've got Moss Lane, which has a 6,000 capacity, built in 1910. So it's got a huge capacity for a team this low down. Facility-wise, we're below average training facilities, basic youth facilities, and fairly basic youth recruitment. Transfer budget is £0, but the finances are generally okay. And a wage budget of £13,000 more or less a week. And this is the team they're suggesting we should probably be starting with. They've gone for a 4-2-3-1 here, with the key player being Mr. Furman over here, who is a ball-winning midfielder, and he's also seen as our key player as well. Good captain material, leadership 16, determination 17, how's his passing only 10, but he's a ball-winning midfielder, so you just want him running around tackling people, really. See here, he's South African, he's got 57 caps for his country, scoring 4 goals. I'm guessing his international career is over, and he's previously played for 8 clubs overall, last playing for Carlisle, which is up in Cumbria. Well-travelled midfielder, so he's obviously played for a lot of teams. and he shoots with power and comes deep to get the ball. So we might need to focus our play around him, but obviously not long term if he's 33 years of age. See what else is happening here. The captain is actually a guy called Jake Malt, who I can't see on this image. If you can see him, please do let me know in the comments, and that could be the first mistake of the video. His squad personality is it's professional, which is good. Hot prospect is this guy, who's an attacking midfielder, right, left, or centre, 20 years of age, on loan at Macclesfield currently. So he's one to keep an eye on maybe in the future. We'll just see. Well, definitely Malt isn't there, Jake Malt, but we can click on him. So this looks like he's our captain. Again, quite old, 32 years of age. Has previously played for Altrincham. Leadership again is 16. So we got quite a strong mentality in our team already. Just clicking on Furman and Malt there. We'll click next, and we'll see that the club culture here. So it's saying, which I quite like actually, it's saying sign players under the age of 23 for the first team, probably because they've got such a lot of oldies in the team. Work within the wage budget and the 5-year plan. So fairly vague club culture here. It's not, it's just saying reach Vanarama national playoffs after 5 or so seasons. So it's not asking us to be promoted. It's not actually saying don't get relegated. If we click next again, this is just the chairperson, who's called Lawrence Looney. Fantastic name. We'll just schedule all of these, and we'll arrange a meeting with our backroom staff every month. I'm not too bothered about that. We'll confirm that. We'll give that a save, and then we'll have a look more in depth to the team just in a minute. So the game's loaded up. We've had our first email notification, and it's about players' contracts and how players are in the last year of the contracts. Seems like when the game loads, you just have a lot of contract offers already done for you. So the likes of Dean Furman, who, as highlighted before, is gonna be our key player for this upcoming season. He's been offered a contract, which is good. On this screen already, you can get a vague idea of who your better players are, judging by the ability and or the good young players that you have by the potential ability of the players here. So the likes of Dean Furman, 4 and a bit stars ability. Ryan Cole-Clough, 4 stars. Ben Pringle, 4 stars. Marcus Dinanga, 3 and a bit stars. So we already have a few good players, but let's dive into the squad section, and we'll have a quick look at the current abilities of our players, where we might need to dive into the transfer and loan market for the places in the team which aren't that great. So we'll do that right now. So this is what our team's looking like. I've set up a very basic tactic for now, which I'll edit after this video. But we're looking at playing just 4-4-2, wing play, hopefully a big striker, hopefully a small quicker striker. I think our midfield's looking alright, We've got Dean Furman here, who likes to play as a ball-winning midfielder, but can also play box-to-box. Some great stats there. It looks like he's got a decent engine as well. Stamina 12, but work rate 14, teamwork 14. Knows his way around the pitch. Also in that central midfield role, we've got a guy called Connor Kirby, who's on loan from Harrogate Town, who are in the league above. Again, a 4-star ability player who can play that ball-winning midfielder role. So we might look to use him as the ball-winning midfielder and Furman as that box-to-box player. In terms of right and left, we've got the guy who we mentioned before, Ryan Cole-Clough. He can play very easily on the left or the right wing. His preferred foot is the right foot. So if we want to play wing play, we might just have him here as a winger. Not amazing, but 13 crossing in this league is quite good if we can get him whipping in balls to a striker who can either header or finish. That would be highly advantageous to us. We've got Ben Pringle, who can work on the other wing. Now he is left-footed and he does play predominantly as a winger as well. Again, 13 crossing, so some good crosses of the ball here. Now, do we have an attacker who can attack them? So we got Dinanga. Let's have a look at him. He's 5'11", but he could be our quick player. So he's finishing his 14, which is very good for this level. And acceleration and pace of 12 and 13, left foot only. So we'd look, and he runs with the ball often. So we'd look to partner him with a slightly bigger player. Let's just have a quick look at this guy here. Well, he's not slightly bigger. He's 5'8", so big tall striker. I think with good heading ability is first on the list of players that we want to sign. Wouldn't mind getting rid of this guy. Doesn't really look up to scratch. In terms of defence, which we totally just missed then, this is where we are definitely the weakest. We've got 2 ageing centre-backs. So we've got Thomas Hannigan, who's only 5'11" for a central defender. Doesn't look amazing. And then next to him at the moment, we've got a guy called Richie Sutton, who's 6 foot, whose stats look a bit better in terms of heading, tackling, but marking's only 8. He's a no-nonsense centre-back, so he's not going to be passing the ball around, which is fine for this level. But again, at 35 years of age, we might look to get in a young, maybe someone on loan who has a bit more speed than these guys, and hopefully is a bit taller, so they can be a threat from the corners as well. If you watched our Liverpool beta saves, you would have seen how many goals we scored from corners, and we'll be using a similar tactic with Altrincham if we can find the right players. In terms of left back and right back, we've got Fitzpatrick on the left wing, again 31 years of age. He's a fantastic penalty taker, 17 penalties. Crossing, only 7. We'd like to see that crossing start in its 10s at least at this level. Tackling technique, everything else looks fairly okay. There's experience, he's got a bit of a shot from distance as well, which could come in useful. I'm just starting to wonder if he's a very good free kick taker, if he's got a shot from distance. So we'll have a look at that off camera. And finally, on the right wing here, we've got a guy called Joel Senior, who is 22, who's a bit younger, and who might be able to develop with time. Wing back defensive, and he's 6'1", so he'd currently be the tallest player in our back four if Fitzpatrick was only... Yeah, Fitzpatrick is 5'10" there. In terms of goalkeepers, we've got a 3-star over here, and he's called Tony Thompson. Decent age at 26. Stats look okay to me. Probably our first choice keeper for the year, I would say. In terms of transfer budget, we've got none. And wage budget, £500 available. So we're looking at free transfers, low wages, and the loan market with no wages if possible. So it's going to be tricky. It's going to be very tricky. In terms of staff, we're not looking too good here. We're below the league average when it comes to defence, attack, fitness, mentality, technical, man management. But in terms of goalkeeping, we're looking all right. We're actually above average here. Especially in shot stopping. Well, I mean, it could come in useful if we are predicted to come 18th in the league. There might be a lot of shots coming up against us. We do have 2 spaces available. We have a space for a head of youth development and a space for head performance analyst. But we are overstaffed when it comes to coaches. It doesn't look like it down here. And when it comes to performance analysts, again, I'm not sure what we're going to do here. I would like to bring in a new defensive coach, but it doesn't look like we're going to have the ability to do that. So I'll have to have a look at that after this episode and see how we progress there. And that's it for episode 1. We're going to come back. The first league game of the season against Torquay and also against Halifax, where I'll firstly introduce you to the players that we brought in. We'll show you the team lineups. We'll get cracking on those games. I've just noticed that one of our players has a testimonial against West Ham under-23s. Who's this? Deansmore, who is a right back. Who wasn't... I don't think he was the right... Yeah, it was Joel Senior who was the right back they suggested us playing. But you can see Deansmore over here has been at Altrincham for all of these years. He has his testimonial against West Ham. Under 23s. I'm not sure why. Looks like he started off at Everton. Is his favourite club West Ham? Information. Favourite clubs is Altrincham. From Liverpool. But he has a testimonial against West Ham under 23s. I'll keep you updated on what happens to that. But yeah, we're going to come back. Torquay, FC Halifax, opening games of the season. I'll let you know the lineups, who we've signed, who we may have got rid of, maybe to free up some wage budget. And yeah, we'll get cracking on this bottom to top. First proper episode very soon.